Hello everyone, welcome to a new YouTube video. Today we're taking a dive into Lolita fashion. I was gonna call this a deep dive, but I didn't really have time to do research for that. So we're just taking a little dive, a shallow dive, you know? I wrote a little essay for this. My phone is off right now, but I wrote a little essay, so I'll just be reading that for you. I'll try to make it a little interactive. I mean, I'll try to make it a little engaging so it's not just a cold read, but just know that I'm just reading something I prepared for you. And if you noticed, I'm sitting in front of a green screen. Also, if I look away from the camera, I'm sorry about that. But like I used to think that was difficult before, but I haven't filmed a video in months. So yeah, I already found it difficult, so having such a long break from filming, it's gonna be even more difficult. But I'm gonna try my best. Anyways, I'm sitting in front of a green screen and I'm just gonna experiment with it today. I hope it goes well because it's really wrinkly, but let's just get started. I'm gonna pull up my essay and I'm gonna try to go through it kind of quickly because I'm filming later than I wanted to and I have school today, so I should kind of hurry up. I have about 15 minutes to do this, but I think that'll be enough time. Oh, and I forgot to say, I was gonna say this at the beginning of the video, but I just wanted to start. But I did a video like this before. I did a video on the history of alternative fashion trends throughout the years. Well, it wasn't really alternative trends, it was more so like the evolution of alternative fashion and alternative subcultures. So if you want another video like this, I did one last year, can have a look at it. So we're gonna start with the origin. Let me keep my phone over here so it can suitable easier for me to look into the camera. Oh, actually I was supposed to do something before this. I was supposed to look up the pronunciation of one of the words because it's not pronounced how you spell it, so I have to look at that.
Hanabu, which means name of a park in Tokyo. Let's say it all together.
Hanabu. Hanabu. That feels like a troll, honestly. Like I still don't really believe it. I've watched this video before, but I kind of forgot. And even then I was like, is that legit? I don't know if that's true, but I'll just pronounce it like that, or try to pronounce it like that, and hope no one makes fun of me. And one more thing, I'll leave all the links to the sources I used in the description, so if you want to know where I'm getting my information, that's where I'm getting my information. I got them from YouTube, some blogs, and a couple articles, I think, but it's mostly from the Lolita wiki, or a Lolita wiki. I don't know if there's just one, but that's where I got most of my information, and then some YouTube videos. Okay, so we're gonna start with the origin, obviously, in the history. In the 60s and 70s, there was a romantic fashion movement in the West, and this movement heavily inspired the Japanese, especially teens and young adults. And it was during this time that brands such as Milk and Pretty Angelic started selling romantic influenced clothing, and these are kind of the brands that I guess started selling Lolita fashion. These clothes that they were selling could be considered, well, not could be, they are considered otome and or natural K. Otome is the Japanese word for maiden, and the main focus of this style was to be to dress like a refined young lady. There weren't any strict rules in the style. It was just that modesty was a big part of it. So yeah, that's Otome, and then you have Natural K, and it's very similar to Otome, but Natural K is really about natural colors, and it has a bigger emphasis on romantic fashion. So that's kind of the difference between Otome and Natural K. In the 80s, young people would often gather in Huntingby Park and surrounding streets to listen to music, to shop, to hang out with friends, and youths and performers would start dressing in wild outfits. This is where Visual K came from, just performers mostly, but also youths just dressing in wild outfits. And this slowly developed into styles such as Lolita, but also a few others. I think gyro is also something that came from that era. Since Lolita started in Japan, it isn't weird that most Lolita brands cater to the Japanese market. However, interest started growing in the West, and brands would start selling to Northern American and other Western countries. Some developed websites in English, so it would be easier for people in those countries to buy their products. Lolita can't be tied to a single time period, as it draws inspiration from sources spanning centuries and continents, most recognizably from the Victorian era. But Lolita fashion has also been influenced by eras such as the 1950s and styles such as the French Rococo style. The term Rococo was first used in 1825 to describe decoration which was out of style and old-fashioned. But in the 19th century, the term was used to describe architecture or music which was excessively or ornamental. I got that from Wikipedia, the last part. Lolita has many substyles, but I'd like to briefly discuss the most popular ones, which are Sweet Lolita, Classic Lolita, and Gothic Lolita. Sweet Lolita fashion follows the basic Lolita silhouette, featuring bell skirts, JSKs, not JFKs. That would be kind of crazy, but I meant JSKs, and dresses. Bloomers are often worn to create a bell shape, that kind of you know what I mean, the bell shape. I'll have pictures, obviously, but you know what I mean. The colors in this substyle are usually pastel, although it's not uncommon to see darker colors, because as long as you have as long as the motifs in your outfit are Sweet Lolita, it doesn't really matter if the colors you use are darker. And common motifs are desserts, berries, children's books, fantasy elements, animals, and flowers. And to make your outfit even more sweet, while wearing darker colors, you'd wear accessories to emphasize the motifs associated with Sweet Lolita. Speaking of accessories, the ones you'd mostly see in Sweet Lolita are bows, hats, tights, knee-highs with lace tops, parasols, bags, and jewelry. Unicorn Princess did a video on Sweet Lolita fashion 5 years ago and talked about 3 levels: light, regular, and OTT. OTT meaning over the top, I think. I feel like that would make the most sense. OTT, over the top. So light is just a simple look, not really heavy on the accessories. Regular would be something regular, I guess. It just kind of, I feel like it's just the regular look, a few accessories. Just a little more effort than light. I feel like light is just maybe one accessory, just a accessory, maybe a necklace or something. And then regular would be like not exactly the full look, but just a little more effort. You know, you're going somewhere, but you don't want to like do too much. And then finally OTT. And OTT would be just going all out. You're getting all the accessories in your closet. You wanna show off your entire closet to the world, you know? And makeup isn't super necessary for a sweet Lolita or any Lolita substyle for that matter. But in sweet, makeup is usually just natural, you know, nothing super serious. Maybe a little bit of eyeliner, maybe some mascara, lip gloss. You know, nothing too much blush. You know, just natural. Next up is classic Lolita. Now, if you're not really into Lolita fashion like myself, then this might seem very similar to Sweet Lolita, but it's different. So Sweet Lolita is what Sweet Lolita is a style that's kind of more childlike. I feel like childlike would be kind of weird to use in the face of the internet that we are right now. But it's kind of more childlike, and classic is more mature. The difference is first difference is the shape of the skirt. While Sweet Lolita has a more bell shape. In classic, you would wear A-line skirts or and skirts that are longer. Think of T-length skirts. I actually don't really know what that means, but uh, the website I got this from, said that those were skirts that come to the mid calf. I guess that would be so here. I don't know why I'm doing all of this. I know I'm gonna put up pictures. Anyway, so different shape skirt, A-line skirts, and longer skirts. The second difference is that classic Lolita is highly inspired by historic fashion, especially fashion from the Victorian era, which I guess all of the substyles kind of are, but this one is just a bit more mature. I already said that, but you know what I mean. And the motifs you'll find in classic Lolita are crowns, fleur-de-lis, crusts, antiques, animals, architecture, and reproductions of old master paintings. Unlike the other Lolita styles, you'll rarely see flat shoes in classic Lolita. Instead, you're more likely to see higher heeled shoes with straps or Victorian style boots. As for accessories, just think of anything elegant and mature. Hair bows, just not too big ones, just little ones. Hats, lacy things, pearly things, gloves, charm bracelets, just think of that. And just like in Sweet Lolita, the makeup's usually natural, but darker elements can be added because, again, more mature, so it's not. I don't know what I was gonna say after that, but just it's kind of the same, but just a little darker sometimes, but not too dark because then you would get into gothic Lolita territory, and that's not the goal. And the focus is primarily on the eyes in classical Lolita. I feel like that's for most of the Lolita styles. I feel like that's for most makeup actually. I feel like everyone kind of wants to put emphasis on their eyes. I did that today, wearing a white eyeliner under my eyes. But this video is not about my makeup. This video is about a little dive into Lolita fashion. The last style that we're gonna discuss is gothic Lolita. And I've actually been interested, well, I used to be really interested in gothic Lolita when I was about 12. I really, really wanted to get into it, but I never did, mostly because of my parents. Yeah, just mostly because of my parents. So Gothic Lolita also follows the basic bell skirts, JSKs, dresses, but you may also find people wearing A-line petticoat rather than a bell-shaped one for a more mature look. The style is very much influenced by Victorian inspired Gothic styles, so the motifs are obviously a bit darker. Bats, skulls, coffins, chandeliers, deep red roses, and castles are common ones. Popular accessories are bows or headdresses, bags, dark or black tights, stockings, and knee highs with lace tops. Just like in other Lolita styles, Gothic Lolitas would wear natural makeup, but they make it a bit dark. So maybe a dark lipstick, not black though, and smoky eyes. Some people do actual goth makeup, but it's not very common to do that in Lolita fashion. So you wouldn't really see a trad goth look. So that was it for the substyles I wanted to discuss. Now we're gonna get into politics. And I'll be honest, I couldn't really find much in politics, but I'll just share what I could find. And that is that for Lolitas in Japan, Lolita is feminist. And although a lot of the styles portray women to be modest and sweet and cute and just things like that, it isn't about dressing like the perfect woman or perfect wife. Lolita does not center men. Lolita is a way for women to be feminist without catering to men. As a lot of Japanese men don't even find Lolita fashion very attractive, so they have space to be feminine without catering to a certain audience. Obviously, it's okay for anyone to dress like this and to dress Lolita in the way that makes you feel good. So just because you're a woman, you don't have to dress in the feminine Lolita styles, because there are also masculine styles. If you want to do the masculine one, then you can do that, And if you're a man, you can dress you can walk around in the most feminine Lolita cord. Just go for it, That's just what I wanted to say. Just wanted to add my 2 cents in there. You can dress Lolita if you're a man or a woman, and you can dress Lolita however you want to. That's the TLDR. I was gonna say TDLR, but that would be like too dead and long read. Okay, let's move on. Anyways, dressing this way isn't just about being feminine without catering to a certain audience. When people dress in this style, they're also kind of rebelling against Japan's. Oh, there's something in my eye. They're also kind of rebelling against Japan's social expectations on young people, especially young women. So that's also another political reason or political stance, I guess, in Lolita. But that was just mostly about Japan, and I feel like that was more in the beginning. I don't know if it's still like that. I mean, obviously it's still about dressing however you want to. Alright, it's time to discuss the music. And unlike most other alternative subcultures, Lolita is a fashion-based subculture, meaning that there isn't one genre that's tied to the subculture. You can listen to anything. Even with it partly deriving from visual K, VK music isn't tied to Lolita. So if you don't like it, doesn't matter. There are also some bands and artists that are associated with Lolita fashion, but again, not tied to the subculture. If you don't like it, doesn't matter. As long as you dress Lolita, then you can call yourself Lolita. And Lolitas, they just listen to whatever they want. I was like looking around in some Reddit threads, forums. What do you call those? I guess a thread. Whatever. They even kind of they were like, yeah, I just listen to whatever I want to. Some people mentioned listening to like super cute music, like kawaii music, like you know what I mean. It was like bubbly, bubblegum pop. Not really bubblegum pop. I feel like bubblegum pop is different, but you like the kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to describe. I hope someone understands what I mean. It's like the, maybe I can look up some examples and I'll put them on the screen right now. But it's like a specific type of music that I'm talking about. I'm not sure if this is what they meant, like the comments I read, because I think there was one comment saying that they listen to like super cute music to feel more kawaii and Lolita. But I'm not even sure this is what they meant, but like that's kind of what I think of that's kind of what I thought of when I read that comment. So I'll just put up some names of songs that I was thinking of, or like at least the genres I was thinking of. I don't know exact music genre names all the time. Anytime, honestly, not all the time. I don't know at any time. But yeah, that was it, kind of, for this messy reading of my essay. I hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, and comment a bow emoji. I can't believe I forgot to say that. Probably gonna clip this part and put it bit earlier in the video, like before my rambling, so you guys can still see it. Feels like a school presentation. I guess that's kind of what it was, because I was just reading from my phone. Yeah. I guess you could tell I'm not really good at reading aloud. I'm not really good at talking, honestly. But I wanted to do this video, so I just tried to write something for you guys so I could share my interests, because this is what I was interested in, like Lolita fashion. I want to do a video trying Lolita makeup at least. I don't know if I could do Lolita fashion because I don't have anything, and them bell skirts, bloomers, JFKs, they're expensive. That was it for the video. Hope you liked it. If you did and you want more like this, I'll try to make the next one a little less chaotic, and I'll try to become a better reader for you guys. I'm not looking into the camera, I know that. I'm looking away from the camera. If I look like this, like there's the camera thing. If I look into that, then looking at the camera. This is so gross. What am I doing? I hope it goes well with this green screen, because I used it once for an edit, but after that since then I haven't used it. Now I'm actually gonna end this video. Bye. Honey, bye? Was that it? Sorry, I kind of forget because I still don't believe well, it's not that I don't believe it, I just can't really understand why it's spelled like that.